So the first thing I want to share with you, and I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I prefer that these sessions are very much for you. So the interaction that I want to have is on the chat. I also will pick and choose some people from the audience because I know a lot of people here. I'm going to have a dialogue, okay? One of the things that I do is I work with Nova University. So I'm a professor at Nova teaching students how to network and how to build relationships. And when you are 19 to 26 years of age, you don't know anything about your future. So these young people are learning these strategies right at the beginning of their career. Now, these intelligent young minds are going to be going to Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, EDP, and their networking is very different than our networking. Our networking is based on new clients, new relationships, and business to business or business to consumer. So here are the things that I want to talk about. And I'm from Scotland, okay? So I have a good sense of humor, okay? You have to go with me sometimes on here, okay? Because one of the things I want to talk about is it's your fault. If you're successful at BNI, it's your fault. If you're unsuccessful at BNI, it's your fault. And the primary aim is to take full responsibility of what you're doing right now to change it for the future. Because I can tell you it's only the small changes that you make right now will transform the referrals that you receive and the referrals that you give. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I also believe that it's really important to not lose time. Okay, I'm pretty good at time management. I'm very lucky. I have a good team, but I think it's so important that you're not doing the wrong things. Okay, so I want to talk about strategy. I want to talk about specific times. I want to talk about what's your specific goal. And I play golf. When I hit the ball well, everything is so easy. When the ball goes straight down the middle of the course, it's easy. It's so effortless. It's the same for referrals. If you overcomplicate it, you overthink it, you try and sell to the other person about the member, it becomes almost like a lockdown. So when I say it's a system, what I'd like you to do is leave this session finding your system. What is your system? What does it look like? And how is it easy? And let's take away the idea of referrals, okay? Because I'm not doing referrals. I'm connecting people. And my job is done. It's your responsibility to do the follow-up, not my responsibility. But what I do is I make the communication so easy that I open the door, okay? I have a couple of examples. In fact, one of the biggest parts of this session is I want us to work on very simple text messaging or WhatsApp or calls, whatever. Because connecting is where you receive the referrals, not just referrals. That you have to think about the relationship. And then the final thing I'll talk about will be about sales with conversion. You have 100 referrals and have completely zero results. Okay, so let's talk about communication. Now, I talk about this because it's your fault. Okay, now I think it was Einstein says the definition of insanity is to do the same things and expect different results. So this is, in my opinion, 90% of the BNI members in the country, in Portugal. And not just Portugal, but whatever groups I've been to. This is the normal format, okay? So I'm talking about presentations here, communication. My name and my company, what I do. I might ask for a specific referral, okay? It's not good enough. So when I say it's your fault, get rid of the old model and start with a new model. And what I mean new model, I mean 100% of the time, you communicate so well to the members that they know exactly what to do, when to do it, and give you the referrals. One of my, I wrote down definitions of challenges, okay? And I wrote down the problem with referrals is that you ask for referrals, right? But you don't get them. Whose fault is that? It must be 100% your fault. You cannot have the mindset of blaming the members, because what you're doing every week is you're teaching the sales force how to find your contacts. But in fact, you're not. You spend most of the time talking about what you do, not what you want. So I'm going to show you this next part, which is what I want you to do. Okay, I want everybody, all of the 70 people on this session, to completely flip your presentation. The first thing you're going to start with is your 3 specific names. Now, I'll talk about target market. I'll talk about finding the right people. But I want 3 names. Now, why do I want 3 names? Because if you just ask for 1, you have a 50-50 chance. If you ask for 2, you might have a 75% chance. If you ask for 3, you have a nice range. Now, when I talk about the 3 names, I also would love you to focus on something that's really key for me in the business. IPA, income producing activities. The names that you're asking for should be the profitable clients, the easiest clients to deal with, and you have access to lots of them, okay? You don't want to find just one individual person. You really want to try and broaden your mindset when it comes to your target market. So one of the big challenges that you have is finding the names, okay? Now, I'm talking from experience, and I'm talking from you as a member of BNI, as a president, as a franchisee, as a national director, and a witness of probably 100,000 failed presentations every week. I think maybe 10% to 20% of the presentations that I see every week are dynamite. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I would love you to change, so that you have better results. The members understand exactly what you want, and the members know exactly what to do at the end of that. Okay, so as we spoke about before, you have the traditional model: my name, my company, what I do, my target market. Okay, delete that format from now. Get rid of it. It doesn't work. Okay, it's too much information, and because you say it every week, the audience is tuned to you saying the same things. They won't do anything about it. Okay, this is what I want. And what I would love you to really focus on is the visual representation of exactly what you want. And I'm going to show you that as some examples of, I've been working with some members and mentoring some members and giving them some advice on being specific. And sometimes it's incredible, and sometimes you have 0 results, because this is only one part of the process. Okay, so I want to share with you inside the presentation model that this is a great idea. Okay, this is an example of a member who has a design and brand company in Unial in Everett. Okay, and I had a chat with him on the phone, and I wanted, look, my goal is I want every member to be successful. So, but I can only deal with one member at a time, right? So I wanted to work with Luis, and I wanted to say, please be specific in the types of companies that you are looking for. So this now has become his weekly slide in his presentation. There is nothing there about the brand. There is nothing there about the things that he does. But you can see that he's specifically looking for that week these wine companies, okay? Now, I think he's received one contact from that. He only did it, I think, for the first time last week. Here's the other piece of information I think is important to you. Please don't change those names until you receive them. So there was a story of a guy in the UK that had the same name for 6 months. And he said, Terry, this is not working. I'm asking for the same company every single week with no results. I said, stay with it. A guest came to the meeting and the members told the guest, do me a favor, just to shut this guy up. Do you know this company? And the guest knew the company, they knew the family of the company. And that one referral paid for his membership for 35 years over because he was persistent. So when you have these names, please stay with the names and stay with the format. So this is another example from Ferdinand in our group, okay? I'm just showing you some examples of slides here that I think are really important to do. And taking LinkedIn, directly from LinkedIn. So I know I can type those people's names in LinkedIn. I can see who I'm connected with, and I can make that introduction. Now, I don't mind if I'm a first, second, third, or not contacted with that person. The world is so small that I know if I put my time and effort into finding these people, then they will come to me. So again, Ferdinand, that's an example of Ferdinand. This is an example of Nuno. Now, this is a typical scenario where Nuno's business is so complicated. Okay, he offers so many opportunities, so many things. I said, forget that. What you want to do is find the strategic alliance that's perfect for you, okay? And I'm actually going to show you a WhatsApp message that I did for another member. But these types of messages are connecting introductions, not referrals, okay? I think I passed, I forget the number, maybe 1.9 million in the last 12 months or something. But all of those results came from a simple connection. They didn't come from me working hard for a referral. They came from me working at my higher network. And what does that mean? In BNI, we are 97% small business, okay? And the idea is not to sell to each other. The idea is to make sure that we have access to larger strategic alliances or bigger opportunities. So again, Nuno looked for three contacts in his presentation. This would be a dream for me, that every single member focuses on specific. It's a number one for me. And if you don't do that, it almost shows a little bit of disrespect to the other members because you haven't prepared it, you haven't asked for something. We have this thing called an emotional bank account. Now, I would say over the years that I've given more to people that didn't deserve it, but I didn't think about it. And I don't judge who I give my energy to. I judge it depending on the situation that's right there, you know. And when I talk about the responsibility, if my referrals go down, it's my responsibility. If I want it, for example, I set a challenge to my new partner. The challenge is that we are setting in the next 3 months, 30 referrals per month. And those 30 referrals are dedicated to a group of people. And he said, game on. I accepted the challenge. Because if, for example, you set your goal, you say, okay, I want to do this much, I need to do this much, then you will achieve it. Most people don't go into BNI with a goal. They go into BNI because they want relationships. They want to build relationships or meet people. So I want to talk about you being more specific. Again, another example of a member just using the specific thing. So if you're not doing that, number one, change your slide, look at your best client, your best possible client you're looking for, your medium client, and then your easy client. That's what I mean by the three. Because if you can have the one dream client that's there forever until you get it, and then you have your medium, which is a great client, it's not the biggest, and then you have your everyday client, it's easy for the members to try and help you. So I want to just switch gears a little bit here, and I want to talk about power teams. I have yet to find the most successful format for power teams, okay? I tell you why, because I think sometimes we're so busy running around doing our thing that we don't have extreme focus. And we've tried to pilot a power team meeting after the BNI meeting and BNI Connection. This is an example of an education power team. Now, I blanked out for data protection, the number and the emails of the people. But these are emails that are, these are referrals that are given to people within the same market. This is education, okay? Antonio Valadis is here on the phone. We have Helen Doran, that was a part of that group at the time, Inej, the inventors. If you look at the inventors, for example, the inventors company and OK Student. So OK Student deals with all of the universities in Portugal. The inventors deals with about 400 schools in Portugal. Okay. So, but they're not BNI members. So your power team shouldn't just be your BNI members. You have to think big. You have to network up. So, for example, many of you know I was working on a program for kids called the Brave Generation Entrepreneurs Club for Kids. The perfect partner for them was the inventors, because the inventors already had the relationship with 400 schools. So I actually became a partner in the inventors because I loved the business so much. The COVID has almost paused the entire operation. But these guys have access to every single international school in the country. If you really want referrals, you really must think, who are the people that have most of my clients? Where are they? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they local? What's their names? Where do they go to school? Let's find these people. Don't hunt them down, but let's build a relationship with those people, because that's where all of your business comes from. Now, in this education tribe, we used to meet for 3 hours. 1.5 hours was about education. What are you doing? What's the latest things that are going on? Sharing ideas with marketing. And then we spent about 1 hour just doing referrals. Now, how did it work? Everybody had a sheet, the shared spreadsheet, and every company put their clients list. And they said, okay, who do you want to talk to? And they say, I want to talk to that company. Okay. Here is the problem. Here is your massive opportunity as a BNI member is, for example, I don't know what to say. Like, I have no idea what to say to that client to open the door. And this is phase 2. This is where I believe you must have prepared scripts and prepared ideas to be able to share with the members. Let me show you a little bit about how I do a referral, okay? So this is probably one of the best referrals that Miha will ever receive, because this referral goes to a BNI member who's been a BNI member for 13 years. And he's a guy called Luis Duarte. He's a long-term member, an amazing company called More Results from BNI Resultados. And look what I'm doing here, okay? I know that there's an opportunity for Luis's network to work with Miha's network. And my job is to connect them. But let me really try and understand the thinking behind my messages. Because I receive probably, when I send these messages, I have about 100% conversion. Why? Because I'm not selling to Luis, and I'm not selling on behalf of Miha. Okay? Most of my top referrals, the ones that made business, were actually more about connecting people together. Now, as a networker, you must see the connections. Miha makes lockers, okay? It's lockers for beaches, for supermarkets, for postal services. Luis deals with 200 of the biggest brands in the country. Sonai Sierra, Sonai, Continent, Fnac, these type of companies. Luis and I have a relationship where the referrals are really simple because we trust each other not to send the wrong people to each other. So if I need something, I'll ask Luis. If Luis needs something, he'll ask me. And I think what's important is that you put your personalization on the referral. For example, hope you're well. I'm mentoring these guys. When I say I'm mentoring them, it means that I'm closely working with them myself. So the reason why I say I'm mentoring is because it's my commitment to Luis that I'm working with them. They make lockers for retailers, so it's a similar market for Luis. The great thing about this connection is that these guys have the potential to be a unicorn Portugal business, a €1 billion company. All of the new clients that they pick up are great referrals back to Luis. So this is always a three-way conversation. This is me connecting two people for the benefit of more referrals. I'm not talking about one referral. I'm talking about dozens. I think since the conversation, I think three referrals have happened. I haven't tracked them, okay? But I know because of conversation that 3 referrals have happened because of that one introduction. And this is where I want to be. This is where I want you to be. I want you to think strategically big. I want to look at one example. I know we have Pedro Suarez on the phone here. So Pedro's company, they make bespoke tea for like a high-end bio shops and things like that. They make this amazing tea. Their goal is to work with Selfridges. Okay, so they said to me, I want to meet Selfridges. I am like a dog.
What is Selfridges?
Selfridges is a high-end store in the UK. It's one of the best. Okay, and I've been hunting that referral down for almost 2 weeks. Today, I receive a message from a friend of mine who's not a BNI member. He's a guy who's involved in the drinks and food industry. And he has not only found the person, but he knows the people in the office. Okay, so I don't know if you can see my camera here, but he has found the contact through my request. In fact, it came from a Facebook post today because I found the department, but I couldn't find the person. So I wanted to find the person. And Steve, who's a friend of mine, said, hey, what do you need? And I said, I need this department, okay? It's my job to wrap that up. Now, I would say I don't receive any money from these referrals, all right? Pedro, you can open your mic there. What would be the value for you for that referral for the company, would you think? So what I'm looking to do is to position large referrals. And here's the great thing. The larger, the easier. Because you're not selling. There is no way I could sell to that company. Because all I need to do is make a connection. So when I make a connection, I step away from the process because I have nothing to do with the company. And one of the biggest mistakes that members do by giving referrals is to oversell the other member, is to talk too much about what they do or what they try and do. So I think this is really important that you get your messages right. So what I'd like to do is I would like everybody to practice in the chat window to change the mindset and write down on the chat window a simple text that I should send on behalf of you to get a referral, okay? Because I believe referrals are easy. I believe many people overcomplicate it. This is about connecting. So what I'd like you to do in Portuguese in the chat window is practice putting a very simple referral. It's not a referral, it's a connecting. So just think of an example, think of a fictitious situation, but write down and get used to writing that message, because that message is going to be what I talked about before, your system. It works every single time. I would say 99% of the referrals I ask for, the connections I ask for, will come through because there's no threat. And that's where the members make all of their money, okay? So can I ask you, everybody, to go onto the chat window, and I want you to practice writing your referral connection, okay? You are connecting another member to a company. How would you do it? So I'm going to give you, and if anybody has any questions, you can open the mic while you're doing that, but everybody use the chat window to put that down. What I'm also looking for is simplicity. If you have too much text, it sounds like you're selling to the other person, okay? Think of this as your best friend. Hey, Marisa, I know that you guys are dealing with this. I thought this guy would be a good strategic alliance. Can I put them in touch with you? No problem. I'm not committing to the quality of the member. I'm not telling you how much I know the person. I'm simply asking for you to connect because there's a win-win benefit. So this is coming from Nuno. So I'm going to read this out in English, but it's in Portuguese. You can see it. You want to reduce your company's costs. Okay. First sentence, I'm out. Because you're selling.
You want me to read the
it's already, no, it's, okay. It's already in Portuguese. It's in Portuguese. It's pretender reducir custos de empresa. So that's that chat. I'm already lost on the first one because you're selling to me. Okay. How I would change that. Forgive me, Nuno, for being blunt. Okay. How I would change it is I see there's a synergy between you and this company to work on cost savings. You guys should meet. Simple. You're going to increase the chances of someone receiving the referral by being more casual. Okay. So it's too much information. Okay. So I have one here. I'd like to introduce the passive house concept. So let me change that. I was thinking about you. Have you heard of the passive house concept? They reply, no, I haven't. I don't know a lot about it, but I know someone who specializes in that area. Why don't I connect you with them? Okay. So even when it says, I would like to introduce, it's selling. This is the benefit for the receiver. Okay. Don't underestimate the power of the informality, because if I'm selling a service to somebody, it's already a difficult position for the other member. What I want to do is have a win-win collaboration. So 100% of my referrals are collaborative referrals, and they're not for one referral, they're for multiple partnership referrals in the future. So when you ask, why am I so successful with the thank you for the business, is because I don't deal with the same level. I deal with the companies with access to more referrals. And at that level, that's where it becomes very easy, because I'm not selling then. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not selling. What I'm doing is I'm giving a gift. And my language is almost, I'd like to help you with something. I see a great synergy. I think there's an opportunity for you to meet each other. Now, I'm busy. Everybody's busy, right? I get it. So my communication is always done with a copy in of the person. I would say 80% of my communication now is on WhatsApp. Okay. And my messages are on WhatsApp. On my screen, it's on WhatsApp. It's a simple message. If I don't have someone in my WhatsApp, I don't have a relationship with them. So I would never send a message to somebody that I didn't know. But this is what I'm looking for. So I'm looking to almost be like a bumblebee, like I'm pollinating. So I know, for example, I know that Rui Oliveira Diaz works with CTT, for example, okay? And I know another person that wants to work with CTT, okay? Cool. And what I got to do is put those people together, and my job is done. Because if they can both benefit, then perfect, okay? So how do I know that those people are dealing with those clients? Because I talk to them. Oh, we had coffees together. And I think there's an amazing statement that I think is so true. The quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions that you ask. The quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions that you ask. If you want to talk about the weather or the COVID or the crap that's happening, that's okay. You will get that response. What I'm talking about is get your time management sorted out. Who do you need to talk to? Who's your biggest potential client? Who's your best strategic alliance? Great. It makes it easy. Every week when I listen to the members of my group, I can only help 20%. Because the only 20% are the only ones that tell me this is exactly who I want and how am I going to get there. Okay. So one of the challenges here is that this is not something that we teach in BNI. We don't teach the script. And it's also, somebody asked here about inviting visitors. I think if you had a simple system, a simple text. We did this in Leiria one day, I think it was Leiria, and we had the audience test to invite a visitor by SMS, and people were receiving replies within seconds. If you can find the perfect text that you would use because it's your style, not mine, and you send that out 10 times a week, your referral rates will be more than anybody in the region. Now, here's a great tip. Stop finding referrals for the group. Okay, so you listen to all the members every week, and God bless you, because being on Zoom is not the easiest thing that we have to go through, okay? But the idea is don't focus on all of the group for that week. Pick one or two members and tell yourself that in 7 days' time, I'm going to come back with 2 or 3 referrals for those members. The rest is a bonus. So for example, if I'm going to work on Gonzalo, okay, Gonzalo Costa's here on the line. Gonzalo, just open up your microphone for me, can you? Now you might be on the Portuguese channel or are you on the English channel?
Yeah, I'm on the English channel.
Great,
yeah.
Okay, so I can hear you fine. So Gonzalo, what I want you to do is I want you to type in the window on the chat, your dream client,
Okay.
your medium client, your easy client,
Okay.
and then 2 or 3 of your best strategic alliances by category. Okay, just do that now. I'm loving the messages here, actually, just as I'm waiting for you to do that. Rui, I like your sentence. We all like a good meal with good food and well safe. For that, they have to talk to Rui Oliveira Diaz. Okay, cool. Okay. So Gonzalo, have you typed it in?
Yeah, I'm just finishing.
Now, while we're waiting here, one thing I think is important is because the world is going so fast, like 1,000 miles an hour right now, is I think it's important to take maybe 10 minutes a week, probably 2 days before your meeting, and just have a look at your BNI app or look at BNI Connect and go back and look at the referrals from the past. Because I think Ricardo Anselmo is here. I first visited Ricardo in a BNI group in Porto in 2004. And he carried with him a folder of every single referral that he gave and every referral that he received. And he could see the slips. We had paper then, right? So it was more difficult. He could see the slips. And this was an amazing way of following up for the future. And I think sometimes we miss that opportunity. We give a referral and it goes forever. Okay, so we have the 3 dream referrals. So Google, Radio Popular, and OK Student. Okay, so why do you want to meet OK Student?
No, I know them. I put similar because we did the recent website them for the virtual fair. It was
Okay.
that we did it. So
Okay.
we already in there, but there is similar context for them. So
Okay. So you're talking about a similar competition to OK Student.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who is it?
Give me 1 second. I have 2 or 3 companies on that.
So what should I say to Google?
Well, data analysis over categories. They know what it is. We have a partnership with Mind Over Data, which is one of the world leading companies on patterns and recognizing patterns, which is a friend of mine. So we are developing a system that will allow categorize or profile the users in a very different way from volume equation, for example.
So what's it called? So what do you call it? Patterns over what?
Yeah, patterns recognition. It's the best. Patterns recognition.
Okay, I'm actually writing what I would say to the person that okay. I know in Google. Okay, I'm just as a test. Okay, but I think this is so important that you have almost like an easy strategy. So you should say to me, for example, Gonzalo, the person you need in Google is this guy or this lady.
Okay.
This is what you should say to them if you meet them. Mm-hmm. This is going to open the door. Okay. So I would ask the question: Do you know anything about pattern recognition?
Okay.
And they'll say, I have no idea what you're talking about. I say, oh my God, you need to meet this guy.
They know, but I know I can improve it.
You got it. Okay. And remember, this is for everybody. Okay. So yeah, this is about making it really, really simple. So where's your strategic alliances?
There you go.
Okay. So that's not strategic alliances. That's different companies, right?
Yeah, there are different companies which have strategies for them.
So I don't want that. And I want this for everybody. What I want is the category, the industry that they're in.
Okay. They are all ICT.
IT?
IT, yeah.
Okay. So most of the people that you work with are IT companies, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So your biggest strategic alliance is IT. Okay, cool.
Yeah, usually from them comes my partners or my customers. Yeah.
Okay. Basically. Okay. Great. So it makes it simple for you then, right? So yeah. What I'm looking for, and I'm going to share my screen just to go back to this, is what I want is this. Okay. I want to know who you are, the customers you're dealing with, and the customers that you want.
Okay.
If we were in a collaborative referral relationship, right? Because it's about trust and visibility and credibility, right? But like we've had enough beers together to understand that everything's okay. But what I want to do is if I'm aligned with your company, I want your clients there, and I'm going to put my clients there, and you say, okay, who do you need? This is everybody's perfect dream. The problem though is trust, right? Because if I give you Google and you screw that up, I'm going to lose my wife will kill me first of all. Okay. So I'm not going to take that risk just because, hey, here's a guy, I met him 2 weeks ago, you know? So I need to know exactly whether you're going to screw it up. Now, that's not technically true. Let me explain that, okay? Because my referral will never, ever say, Gonzalo is the best guy in the world. Oh my God, you've got to see these people. They're unbelievable. They're brilliant. No, that's almost like a death sentence, okay? In fact, the referral that I gave to Pedro, Pedro's in our group. He's a member of our chapter. And I gave him a referral to another guy, and I made this simple introduction. Pedro's joined our groups less than a month. I don't really know him. He has the courage to join BNI. He seems like a nice guy. They're part of a big Spanish group. But you know, as far as that's concerned, I don't know any more. I like him, but that's up to you to make that connection. The other person, I said, I've known them for 13 years. They're amazing people. I think you guys have got good synergy, but I'm telling you that I don't know Nuno that well. That's okay. Because if Nuno screws up, then I haven't lost my relationship with the guy from the 13 years. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So what I'm looking for everybody to focus on is strategic alliance, strategic alliance, strategic alliance. All of your referrals will come from strategic alliances. So can everybody type in one strategic alliance in the chat window right now? Everybody put, who would be the person that has all of your clients, but they don't sell you your products and services? Who is that? What is that category? That's the golden egg that gives you referrals for life. So everybody put in the chat window the one strategic alliance. So as these come through the window, I'm going to talk about a guy called Ian Denny. So Ian Denny was a BNI member back in 2000 in Liverpool. And he was an okay member. He was a nice guy. He didn't do a lot of business. He didn't pass a lot of referrals, but really, really nice guy. He left BNI and then came back maybe 3 or 4 years later. And I noticed a pattern. What was happening was Ian was passing between, I think, 10 and 15 referrals per week. Now that doesn't happen a lot, okay? Now you might have superstars like Susanna and Ana Delgado that do those numbers, but it doesn't happen every single week. And I said to him, what are you doing? Oh, it's really simple. I've stopped finding referrals for the group. I've started to find referrals for an individual person. Now, this was back in the day, this was a long time ago, but Ian would do an email. On the footer of his email inside whenever he sent emails, he would feature one member at the bottom of on the signature. I work with an amazing lawyer, Ana Delgado. These are the things that she does. She's brilliant. If you need a referral for a lawyer, contact me. Every week, he would change the template of his email to feature another member of his BNI chapter. And this is like life, because if you try to do everything for everybody, you get almost zero results. And I would recommend for you is put the time to the people that you believe will get you both the best results. So I'm a believer that you are the average of the 5 people that you associate yourself with, okay? And I think it was maybe 4 years ago that I decided that my network had a certain level, and I wanted to completely change my network. I wanted to network with not so much millionaires and billionaires, but certainly that type of access. And The reason why I wanted to access those people is because it would be easier for me to connect my existing teams to those people. And I started this thing called the Curry Club. So the Curry Club was is actually a social club. And we started off with 2 people back, I think it was about 7 years ago. And we got to about 22 people with the Curry Club. And I'm telling you this because I think it's important to think about a different strategy, okay? Because BNI is an amazing platform, but most of the referrals that I've given have not been from BNI members. Because the larger companies, they don't have the ability to be at a BNI meeting every week. If they do, it's their salespeople. So when I want to talk to those guys, they're not in BNI. So where are they? Drinking, socializing, and enjoying being with each other. So I'm just going to show you this screen here. So this is the Qashqai's Curry Club. There's 3 rules of the Curry Club. Number 1, drink beer. 2, drink wine. 3, eat curry. No more rules, okay? Now, we went from 2 members to 616 members in about 3 years. We went from 23 members to 616 members in about 3 years. Why? Because I met Tim Vieira. I met Tim at a wine tasting. We got on really well. He has an amazing space in Qashqai's with all the cars and the things. It was a perfect collaboration to do the Curry Club. And the Curry Club was phenomenal. Now, Gonzalo, I can see you laughing there, right? Because I know there's a few people here that have been to the Curry Club. The Curry Club, you cannot bring business cards. You're not allowed to sell. If you wear a shirt and tie, we kick you out. It's about social. This is about relationships. The great thing is when someone is drinking alcohol, you can test the mark of that person because if the professionalism goes up or goes down after 3 bottles of wine. It's always a good test after 3 bottles of wine. But joking, all of the future projects that I've been able to give as referrals have come from the Curry Club. CEOs of Oracle, CEOs of Google, people that have come in that are people that do not want to be sold to. The last thing you want in the Curry Club is to be sold to. So how do you create that? I believe, and I teach this to the students at Nova, you should start your own network. And I'm not talking about competition with BNI. Why would I do that? I'm talking about create the network that fits your profile, but keep it social, keep it informal, keep it timely, twice a month, once a month, something like that, where you're surrounded with the people that have your clients, but you don't talk about business. Now, a massive tip for the students, if a networking event is going to start at 7 o'clock, I'm there at 6 o'clock because I don't want to be the guest. I want to be the host. So I'm always first. Why? Because I want to make you the coffee. I want to get you the glass of wine. Gonzalo, I'm the first person at the door. My reputation is based on welcoming everybody in, okay? Just give me a little feedback about the Curry Club. Just go ahead on the chat.
I put it there because I was laughing because every time we go there, it's highly enjoyable. So usually I go with Andre, he's also in here. So, and it was always very good because it's very socially, that's the best part. And you are always in the receiving us, and that is very, very good. Thank you for that.
No, it's an absolute pleasure to run it. And the reason why I run it is because it works. It works. Because if you can create a network that follows your hobby, your passion, and I like to play golf, I like to eat curry, I like to drink alcohol, it's a great blend. So I know Marisa used to do her fitness thing. So if you're going to do a fitness thing, then create a fitness group. But don't do it with small thinking people. Do you understand what I mean? Do it with people that are going to stretch you. And I must say, I would say about 50% of the people that go to the Curry Club, I'm the stupid guy in the room. I have no idea the intelligence of those people. But you know what? I don't care, because I'm the host. And if I don't like someone, I can kick him out. I'm joking, I don't kick him out. But, you know, when you're the host of something and you've started something, it's a massive difference. It's like walking into someone's house party. You don't really feel part of it. So if you really want to, you know, get into bigger networks, set your own network up, industry specific, strategic alliance specific, and do it in your terms. Make it social. The last thing you want to do is talk about business at those events. I met Pedro Santa Clara, who was the Dean of Nova at the time. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing lockers." "Oh my God, okay." So I came to talk to them about the lockers. And then he said, "What else do you do?" I said, "Well, I inspire young people." "Oh my God, you should come and work at Nova." "How does that work?" "I don't know. Talk to the students about networking." "Okay." So now I do about 10 sessions a year with Nova because of an informal conversation. The interesting thing for me is that if I need something, I will check in with someone who has a bigger company and ask them to help my members of BNI. Okay, I did a message today to a large company, and I said, "Look, I don't know you. I know you from Joao, but I need to help a BNI member who's a great person. If you could help me connect with the specific person." This is at IKEA, okay? Because my friend's wife is the GM for IKEA for Portugal. And I just need that one person. In fact, the one person that I need is, I think it's Claudio Villena, is part of HR for IKEA. Now I know if other people know that person, then they would help me with that, okay? But I'm finding sources. My idea is to be strategic and find sources. I want to show you something that some of you guys have seen this before anyway, but I'm a big fan of this. This is a thing called 16 personalities. Now, I know that there's specialists there that do these profiles, okay? But this is a big part of where I believe my success from referrals have come from, because I understand the others. So I'm under the diplomats there, you can see, I'm a campaigner, which means I start things, I start stuff, but my detail is not perfect. And I'm okay, I'm getting better at it. But the key for me is to understand the other people. Because if I can communicate my ideas or my requests for different personality profiles, then I'm going to be much more successful in my delivery. For example, if I do a presentation like this, some people need detail. Some people need big vision. Some people need to be hugged. Some people need to be told straight. And what I'm trying to do, whatever I am, is almost put my heart and my soul in my presentations and say, look, how can I help you? And I think so many people are rushing so fast that they don't have the opportunity to connect with the audience like that. And I think that's so important for networking, because I don't see referrals as referrals. I see referrals as relationships. And we, you know, this isn't a secret, but nobody teaches us this stuff. Even in the PSM, it only has a certain amount of information. Nobody teaches this experience. So when I'm asking about the feedback before, what do you want? My experience. And my experience is the easiest referrals can have the biggest value. The challenge is for you just to do it. So I committed to Jose that I'm going to pass 30 referrals this month. The definition of a referral is the other person must be happy to take the call. That's it. That's the definition. The other person must be happy to take the call. Apart from that, it's not my problem, okay? So I want you to put in the chat window, how many referrals are you going to give in August? So how many referrals, put this in the chat window, how many referrals are you going to give in August? And August is the quietest month for referrals, right? But how many referrals are you going to give in August? So give us it. Okay, so 12, 16, very good. Lourdes, you're a ninja at referrals. You've always been good at giving referrals. Okay, great.
Who is the ninja referrals?
Lourdes. She always gives a lot of good referrals. Okay, I'm liking the numbers. Okay, so I want to open up in questions in 5 minutes time, but what I want to talk about is, why are you doing this? Like, why the hell are you turning up every single week with a bunch of strangers talking about your business for 30 seconds in the hope that someone will give you a referral, but for what? Like, what do you want from your life? Okay. And I think it's so important to focus on the things that you want. And the reason why I'm in my Hawaii shirt is because, like, for me, it's all about focus. It's all about what can you do right now that will improve your life. And I think without a vision, without a purpose, and without a mission, it's very easy to get lost. Okay, so this was something that I set up 2012 when I was running 4 countries. Well, I call Liverpool a country, okay, because it's the same size as Brazil, as you can see. But this was just an example, okay? But what I would really love you to think about is think big. Think really big. Like right now in my office, I have the maps of 3 different companies, and I have all of the maps of the people and all of the opportunities for the people that want to work with me, okay? And I do 5 things. Number 1, sell franchises. 2, recruit directors. 3, start groups. 4, grow groups. 5, keep members. It's my top 5 things. I'm a visual person. What I'd love you to think about is, what is your big vision? And what I did was I wallpapered my office wall with that image. So every single day I could see I was going to sell franchises in Portugal, Brazil, Spain, and, as I said, my own region. This was my focus. I show you this because I think being visual, for me, because I'm a visual guy, is so important. But I think unless you don't have a clear direction of what you're doing, you're going to get lost in the detail and the small details of referrals. Okay, I want you to think big. This was my vision for my life and my family. I wallpapered the other wall. And every single morning I walk into the office, I see my maps, I take a coffee, and I'm looking at my vision in the middle, okay? And on the new office wall, we're gonna have, in fact, maps are being installed tomorrow, because I have the opportunity to recruit 55 director consultants, all the way from Peniche, all the way down to the bottom of the Alentejo. It's my focus. And I wanna use BNI as a leverage to grow that business. And if I do that, I have to be targeted. I have to know exactly what I want. And I think that's so important for you as members to really think about why you're doing BNI, you know, because you guys, some of you have been here for a long time. Just look at this example for a moment, because I'm going to pick out one thing that was a disaster, okay? So I opened a company in 2005. We were insanely successful. Unfortunately, the partner that I was with didn't work out. Hey, that's life, move on. I started groups in Liverpool. We sold franchisees in Brazil. This was family. But there's one word here, will. Will means I never will be. My weight will be 175 pounds. I never lost weight. Now that one word means that will means I don't have. I go on dates. I see my family. We engage in sports. We travel together. We sell. Do you understand what I mean? So when I set my goals, I talk about that they already happened, but my weight was a complete screw up. I didn't lose 1 pound and think I probably put weight on. So wherever you set your goals, I don't care if you reach 50%. It's like, just put a freaking goal there. If you have a goal to do 100,000 from referrals or BNI, then put it up. Think and Grow Rich is an amazing book. And these are my lifelong goals. Okay. And I know them because they're on my phone and I see them every day. The one thing that's important to me is to pay my sister back all the good stuff she gave me. So there's emotion there. Fall in love with my wife every week. Or every day, not every week. Maybe I could take a break. So I'm showing you this because I want you to think about the mindset that I have to grow brands and to grow companies. I mean, I don't speak Portuguese. I suck at languages. Jesus, I wish I spoke Portuguese. I suck at languages, but I'm good at that connecting thing. That's the thing I'm good at. I think you should find what you're good at and just try and use that all the time. So it's 17:15. What I'd like to do is open out for questions or any discussions that you want to do, and I'll make sure that we get finished at 25 past. Why? I believe in a society that should be on time. We started at 10 past. We should finish at 25 past. So does anybody have a difficult question for me or any challenges that they want to put on the chat? Please go ahead. If you want to ask me a question in English, swap to the English channel. Give me a hard time and then we'll go back to Constantino. So come on, guys, be brave. Ask me a difficult question. I'm drinking alcohol here. I'm just coping with the day, you know.
What are the three? Be first, be brave, and the other one is?
From last week?
Yeah.
Was be first, be brave.
First, be brave.
And...
Forgot.
You can't swear on this call. This has been recorded.
Oops.
Well, we talked about that because about being first. Hold on a second.
Be happy.
No, be first, be bold, and be brave. So I have a question from Ricardo. What's your best referral ever? You know, everybody talks about finding love in BNI. I always imagine it would be nice if I found my wife as a referral, but I met her well before BNI, so I could never claim that. I know that we have BNI babies, but the best referral I ever received was from a guy called Jeremy Dent. So Jeremy Dent was a member of BNI in Manchester. And I asked one question, and I said, this was in a Manchester meeting, 6:45 in the morning. And I asked one question. I said, does anybody here know anyone in Portugal? Because I'm thinking about setting up BNI in Portugal. And this guy was the guy, I'm sharing the screen of this guy now, okay? This guy took the time to simply say nothing, go do the homework, found the contact, and connected us together and said, I think I found the guy for you. He's from Porto. He lives in London. He's going to come and meet you. And that guy drove from Portugal with a brand new baby to come to see a BNI meeting before Portugal ever started. He's seen the biggest BNI meeting in Liverpool and said, oh my God, I want this for Portugal. And him and I signed the contract that day. And this was back in 2002 or 3, because that one member had the courage to give me that referral. So when you say, what's the best referral I received? Because I've got to say, like, I'm living my freaking dream. I'm surrounded by amazing people. I'm proud of my franchisees. I'm proud of my kids. My kids have survived. And I have great people. I love my chapter. What's my vision? So let's see. So Ricardo, that's your question. What's your vision for 2025? So my vision is to have 5,000 members, okay? But I would love to extend BNI into every single municipality. Something happened in Germany. Michael Meyer and Harald Leitz are the two national directors for Germany. And they started to apologize to cities, for example, Stuttgart, Berlin, and they apologized to the mayor and they said, we apologize. We haven't yet given you a business group. And I think we owe it to every single municipality to put a business group inside that municipality. I think it's so key. So when I talk about I have the vision actually on my door here. The vision is 300 million euros of revenue for the members and 5,000 members. We can only do that if we have spread across the country. I know Jose Quintero is here, so him and I are building a strategic plan about building that into municipalities. So next question. Okay, let's see, I'm going to translate this one for myself. Okay, so the question is, Terry, your Portuguese is very funny. Okay, why don't you venture to speak Portuguese with a Scottish accent? You know, so many of my team say, we like you, you're a funny guy, but don't speak Portuguese. We don't have the time to listen to that stuff. The interesting thing is I understand about 80% of what's said. So I know all the bad words, I know all the swear words and things like that. And, you know, I think it comes from my years of education. I don't have an education. School hated me and I hated school. And I was thrown out of school at 15 with no qualifications. And I have this thing about academics, like I'm not the clever guy. So when I become so successful, this inner child pulls me back. I know it seems crazy, but that's it. There's a good question here from Carla. Do you see any of your chapter members as friends too? Well, some of the chapter members are on the line here. I see them more as friends than I do as BNI members. And there's a brilliant statement from Ivan Meisner that says the best thing about BNI is you have friends. The worst thing about BNI is you have friends. Because if we become too social, then where is the accountability? You know, you lose the accountability. But I've got to tell you, the members in BNI Connection are my friends. You know, I think this is a big discussion about COVID, that BNI is in survival mode for so many members because it's the glue between us. And look, everybody's going through stuff. You know, everybody's going through turmoil. So no matter what you're going through, you almost want to make sure that somebody's there for you. Someone has your back. You know, I'm going through my own stuff. I'm going through my own challenges, but you will never see it. Because my responsibility is to be the leader of this company with Susanna. And my videos are positive, my videos are productive, my communication, because I live in that world. Now, if you have a bottle of wine with me and a cigarette and a beer, I'll tell you the shit that I'm going through, but it's not my responsibility to do that. And one thing that I'll finish on this is that when somebody asks you how you are, tell them you're amazing. Because they don't want to know about the hard stuff, because they're going through their own stuff. And if you say, how are you? You say, you know what? Things are great. I'm really focused on this. I'm doing this. Things are great. Okay. My final statement for this is that referrals should be easy. Pass quality referrals, connect with people, keep it simple, get your scripts, share your strategic alliances, and keep it simple. Okay. I'm going to stop because it's 5 minutes before this.
I need to challenge you, Terry.
Okay,
I need to challenge you.
Oh, what's the challenge? Go ahead.
First, you said you don't have formal education.
Yes.
Jack Ma was turned down 10 times from Harvard and a couple more from a local university. Now his challenge is to have time to teach at Harvard. So you could never be a student. And in front of a bunch of friends, the challenge is you need to be speaking in Portuguese the next presentation by January 21. So that's your challenge.
A brutal desafio, pá.
É muito bom e vais conseguir. É só uma decisão. It only takes 10 seconds the decision. Then we'll find out the strategy together with more people.
Okay.
That's it.
Ok, certeza. Falar português 39%, depende. Garrafa vinho 100%. You know, 100%. I just need to find the different words.
So now I have to translate to English. He understands 29%.
Okay, cool. So, 9:25. Thank you for everybody for coming in, okay? Thank you for coming and joining us. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Constantino, for the translation. Was the translation good or bad?
Very, very good.
Of course. Okay. Thank you, guys. Good luck. Keep in touch, okay? If